Okay.
Yeah, so just get...
Okay, so just, are we going to run over the questions?
Yeah, you'd be fine.
Not used to being on camera. Hey, I'm Trey Tijerina, and I'm 26 years old. I am an entrepreneur, and I am involved in the cannabis industry.
How did you get this job?
I was creating my own opportunities. Created my own opportunities so that I could work in the industry that I wanted to work in. It's a little difficult working in the cannabis industry being in Texas. And so what I found successful is connecting people and connecting businesses to other businesses that are emerging in the state, and connecting consumers to businesses, and connecting people through events. And I throw events for people.
So work hours, you 9 to 5, what hours do you work? What's a typical day like for you, time-wise?
It's sporadic. Oh man, I don't think I've ever been asked that. It's a personal question, not personal because it's a personal relation. It's just personal because I haven't really thought about expressing this to anybody. So I do have a routine somewhat. I wake up and do my morning routine. It takes a couple hours. Eat, work out, and kind of breathe a little bit throughout the day. And then I get to work probably around 10 o'clock, 10:30, and I work for probably a couple hours, and then I usually take a break and absorb some kind of, I either read or I write. I absorb some kind of information, and I make sure I retain it. It's a process that I do. And I do some reading as well about the industry to keep up, do some social media kind of stuff. So I guess that's possibly considered work. And then I work for a couple more hours, and then I do my nightly routine, and that takes a few hours as well. And then I work for a couple more hours, and I usually go to sleep till about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
So to get into, what kind of education or training do you have, or did you have to get into where you are now?
Oh, okay. I would say have to have, probably none. I would say experience helps me. The education and the experience come together. But so I've been in the industry for 4 years total. The business that I have currently right now, I own two, but the one that I'm primarily focused on would be Texas Cannabis Business Alliance, and that one is a collection of all of my experiences with my personal business in the industry, my other personal business in the industry called Can2Biz. That is a collection of my experiences, my resources, and my time and effort, right? And the result has been success. I found some success in my Texas Cannabis Business Alliance business, and I would say education, that's what I'm in the business of doing, to educate people on my mistakes that I had early on in the industry, to educate people on other people's mistakes early on in the industry, and then also to educate them on how quickly the industry moves and how it's evolving. Because that's a really big part of the industry, because being in the industry, I've known that it changes very quickly, and people have to either adapt or they get washed away.
The best part, what's the best part about the job that you have?
There's a couple. I would say one of the best rewarding parts for me, which I identify as the best, would be when it clicks for people in their business, like I know what I want to do. They have their vision overall, their aim, what they're aiming for. And then that applies over in their personal life. Because generally when we have, at least for me, at least speaking for myself, when I have this rush of momentum or energy going into my information and exploration in my business side, that normally translates over into my personal life in some form or degree, and I will be able to be energized and think differently and form new different ideas within my personal life. And that's where I see the benefit between having the same principles in business and having the same principles in personal, and pushing them forward. That's really rewarding for me when somebody gets it in business and then they go over their personal life and they kill it.
So flip side of that coin then, so what's the worst part about this job that you have?
Oh, that's easy. It plays exactly on that everybody's dream isn't going to come true in this industry. It's completely on. It's a lot on the person, on the individual, because to manifest your own dreams is something that you are doing in reality, and there are external factors that play into that, but 9 times out of 10, entrepreneurs, their startups, they fail, right? Especially with this industry, consolidation is going to happen. Big money is going to play a big part of this evolution of cannabis industry, and a lot of these smaller dreams and smaller hopes of being a small business owner and yada 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 are going to get crushed. And it's hard because the people who start now have a really good shot at it, and that's what we're trying to do: educate that you can do things today, you can do things now. But are they going to take action and manifest their dreams? That's up to them.
So, would you say is this your ideal dream job?
No. Let me back up. So, no. My dream job would be working one-on-one with people in more of a self-help, mental health, mental approach in life. Like almost like building mental framework for life. That's kind of that's my dream job, because I could see I've done it my whole life. I haven't been a business owner my whole life. I haven't been a business connector my whole life. I haven't been a business educator my whole life. So that is something that I've taken a liking to, and something that I identify as being decent at, right? Because I bring people to the events. But my dream job would be more of something that's more personal and home for me.
Do you see yourself doing this in 5 years? Or do you see it evolving into this other ideal job?
I see the two separate industries, if we'll call them, collapsing because they're so similar, that I see somehow, some way. In 5 years, I probably won't be doing exactly what I'm doing today, but in 5 years, it'll be education, it'll be either connecting with myself or connecting other people with other people, or connecting myself with other people, or it will be self-development, whether that be a business or personal development.
Any advice that you would give them?
My advice was that you can do something now, you can do something today. My advice is that there is still so much misinformation in the industry. There's so much stigma that's attached to the industry that the very least people could not continue to spread it, right? And then if you're interested in the industry, right, then you can start to educate yourself. So step one would be educate yourself and utilize what you have around you. Obviously, you have this huge tool called Google and the internet, right? But you also have people who have had firsthand experience, who are educating classes. There's so many different classes in the state of Texas now that are opening up and offering this education. Go get educated, invest your money and your time into this if you're truly interested in this. I would also recommend that if you look to do a business of any sort, it's super imperative that people start building a following, start attracting people that are listening to what it is you're saying. Whether you're talking about your future product or service or not, you could still be educating them, and they could be attracted to that. And then that's when you roll in your product or service, and there you have somebody to talk to. You're building a following. That's super critical in today's business world, is build a following, build that audience that you can talk to.
Are there common misconceptions that you run across?
Yeah, in the industry, yes. The job, yeah, too. I'll focus on the job because the industry would be a long list. But the job would be that you can't work in the cannabis industry in Texas. That's a huge misconception. Because I'm doing it, and there's so many other businesses that are part of my alliance that do it as well. So I know that that's not true. Another misconception, I think, would be that Texas will never legalize, and that will affect my business. In my professional opinion, this is fact. We just declassified hemp a couple weeks ago.
Big change reported today in Texas for the classification of a plant once considered to be a dangerous drug.
As of today, hemp is officially removed from the same group of restricted drugs like heroin and cocaine.
And that's going to open up the doors for a ton of opportunity within the cannabis industry. Hemp is cannabis. That's part of the misinformation.
We talked a bit about work hours and just coming back to vacation time. And do you get vacation time?
So I would have to answer that by saying, so I'm an entrepreneur, and because I don't have a 9-to-5 work schedule, because I don't have a fixed schedule and time that I'm supposed to check in and out and do things, it's all up to me. And so that's been a learning experience. Now that I have a daughter, she's 2 almost this month, she will be. But now that I've had this daughter, I've really struggled to find a way to mix in vacation with business, because I'm always on the demand, if you will, because I work from my phone. A lot of us entrepreneurs and people who are on the go, we work from our phone. I can make money from my phone. I can do calls and I can check social media and all of these different things, right? We know that. What I've learned from other people who are more successful than I am, and what I'm having to do in terms of like building my own schedule and stuff, they have told me that the best way to do it, and I've taken this practice. I had my first vacation in June with my daughter, but they have told me that it's discipline.
So future plans down the road, we're talking like retirement way down the road, like...
If I were to dream or fantasize about it, I have thought about this. What I would want to do, what I'd appreciate doing, is probably working in America for the next 3 to 8 years, maybe 5 to 10 years, and somehow get to a point where I can live out of country and still work remotely and still service the American industry, if you will.
This is the last one, last question. We made it to the end. You had it to do over. And would you do this again? Would you choose this path?
Yeah. The thing in which you know is going to put the most resistance up against you in life, business, whatever, is probably the most beneficial thing for you to pursue. It's going, because resistance is growth. The more that you have resistance in your life, the more that you're going to grow when you overcome that resistance. I wouldn't change a thing. I've grown a tremendous amount. I wouldn't change it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you killed it, Trey. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hey everybody, on the next work that we do, join me, Preston Panic, as I talk about my life as a street artist. Be sure to follow and to subscribe so you don't miss the episode.
Awesome.